Hello everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is Prehistoric Facts special episode number 128, and we're going to talk about a prehistoric predatory mammal, or even what you can say both herbivore and carnivorous mammal, and that mammal is Archaeotherium. So here is a picture of a model of Archaeotherium. This is in Badlands National Park, and this is in the Visitor Center in their museum. I've been there, and this is actually a pretty nice place to go to, and hopefully you guys get to check that out. But let's continue on. So Archaeotherium, the name means ancient beast. The length is 6 to 7 feet or 2 meters, height 3 to 4 feet or 1 meter, weight 600 pounds, lived 34 to 25 million years ago in the Eocene to Oligocene epoch, whatever you want to call it. And the fossils are found in North America, possibly Eurasia, and the paleontologist that described it first is Joseph Leidy in 1850, and Joseph Leidy is the first American paleontologist, and so he was the first American paleontologist, and that's kind of pretty cool. And he kind of got started a little bit before the Bone Wars of Cope and Marsh actually got started. And so here are some pictures of Archaeotherium. So up on the upper left corner right here, you can see the size chart of Archaeotherium, almost the same size as a male human. And so that's kind of actually pretty interesting. And here's a skeleton of Archaeotherium. The majority of the bones have been found, so they have been found at probably nearly 100%. And a lot of the bones have been found. Probably some of the bones on the tail have been missing before, but even though we could actually know that a lot of the bones have been found, and it's a two-hoofed mammal. And then here you got the map of North America. And so a majority of the fossils of Archaeotherium have been found in North America. So they've been found in North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Nebraska, Colorado, and maybe bits of Utah, and even in Kansas. And so this thing actually had a pretty big range, and so we know that it actually dominated the landscape in North America for a long time. Now, Archaeotherium belongs to the family of Entelodontidae. So that is the entelodonts, and we all know what the entelodonts are. And these are animals that may be pig-like, but could also look like a hippo. And there has been recent evidence to show that they might be more closely related to hippos than pigs. But even though hippos and pigs are part of the same ungulate family, they're part of the even-toed ungulates. And so these are hoofed animals that actually have 2 or even 4 hooves on their for toes. And entelodonts can be omnivorous. In the case of Archaeotherium, it possibly was omnivorous, but majority of the evidence suggests that it ate meat majority of the time, and it scavenged majority of its diet, so it was more of a scavenger. It did hunt on occasion. It would probably only knock down the animal and then actually take a big hunk of bite right at the back of the head or right at the neck, and to kill its prey like that. And of course, all entelodonts, Archaeotherium, actually has a great sense of smell and great sense of sight. Entelodonts actually have binocular vision, so their eyes face forward. So that's what they have. But their sense of smell would actually be their biggest trait. And if you actually want to know why I mentioned Badlands National Park, it's because that's where the Big Pig Dig actually took place. This is where a lot of Archaeotherium fossils have been found. So get over to Badlands National Park when you can. It's in South Dakota, and I've been there, and it's a cool place to look at, to actually explore. I did not do any fossil hunting because it's illegal in there to actually destroy federal property. So do not try to dig up fossils or take any of them because you could get arrested. So this is actually a pretty cool place, but if you do find a fossil, please contact the rangers, and so they will and then they might be able to actually contact a local paleontologist to actually look at those bones. So the environment of Archaeotherium, it would be warm and dry. There's plenty of forests and even grasslands. Grass started to dominate the planet, and so grass was just starting to pretty much dominate worldwide. And in North America, it was actually almost widespread. And there were no large predatory birds, so like Gastornis was not even around at that particular time, so Archaeotherium actually got the lucky break on that. And but other kinds of animals have been around there, like all kinds of mammals, reptiles like your tortoises, lizards, snakes, and then you have some birds, some flying birds basically, and then you have some insects. And so those were actually very common in during the Eocene and the Legacy. Now we actually go to predators and prey. So the prey that our Archaeotherium would actually go after, Oreodonts. Now these are animals that were like the most dominant mammal during that time. They were herbivores and they lived in groups. They could burrow, and these are animals that were very, very common. And the only way you can actually find an Oreodont, look for the right set of rocks that you actually get the formation where you find formations to find Archaeotherium. And if you find like some of these round rocks, you can be able to crack open that round rock, and you may actually find an Oreodont skull, and that is really, really cool. Early camels that it hunted too, so these would be smaller versions of camels. They would almost look like llamas in a way, but they actually are related to camels. Early rhinos. Rhinos were actually kind of small during that time. They were actually about the size of, say, maybe of a greyhound. They were actually pretty large, small rhinos, and so these were actually pretty big rhinos. And then you have ancient horses like Mesohippus and Myohippus, and these were smaller versions of horses. They had more than one toe, so these were probably three-toed horses, and so these were actually very common during the time of Archaeotherium. But Archaeotherium did have predators, and its adversary, most common adversary, is Hyaenodon. And then the Hyaenodon species that its common ancestor was, a common adversary, I should say, is Hyaenodon horridus. And so these are predators that probably did prey on Archaeotherium, mainly the young ones. They did not dare go after an adult, because an adult would be too big and too powerful. And we have evidence to support that Hyaenodon and Archaeotherium did fight each other from time to time, probably for fighting over a carcass. And another type of predator that it possibly had was Hoplophonius, a Nimrovid or false cat that actually lived around the same time as Archaeotherium, but it probably just preyed on the young. It probably did not prey on the adults, because I think the adults would be just too powerful for Hoplophonius to actually try to attack. But Hoplophonius could actually be a predator of Archaeotherium. In the extinction of Archaeotherium, it was due to climate change. The climate got cooler and drier, so it was becoming the cooling temperatures with that, and it means the poles were starting to freeze. Grasslands continue to expand, and so that means that there's more open areas for animals to actually move around. New prey became larger and faster, so like the horses got larger and faster, camels got larger and faster, rhinos got bigger, and also the predators were actually getting smarter and stronger. And so that even though they did not get too big, they were actually developing the brain power like most predatory mammals are starting to develop. But Entelodonts didn't totally go extinct at the beginning of the Oligocene. It was that they were actually getting larger, and so that actually would keep them up with the arms race with the prey, and that would lead to the largest entelodont of all, Daeodon. And so Archaeotherium would actually be nicknamed the Hell Pig, Daeodon the Terminator Pig. So here's a map of what the Eocene looked like worldwide. And so here's North America. The Great Lakes were not around. So the Great Lakes did not exist. North America was not connected to South America totally yet. And also we see here is that where Archaeotherium was around, almost flat areas. So that's where you will find Archaeotherium. So the next episode would actually be on February 27th, 2019, and that'll be a Q&A episode. So this would actually be a little bit earlier than what I actually would do it, and so make sure to get your questions ready. So if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com. And we're always going on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you can actually post your questions on the wall or in the comments section. Remember, keep your questions short and to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you. And also for younger people out there, to make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you could have for good education. It's very important to have good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.